If they're not,
All right. Welcome to the Way to a Great Marriage Cast. Tonight, I'm going to turn it over to LaRonda. She's going to sing one of Omi's songs that she wrote. That's her mother. And here is LaRonda.
Hello, hello. This is called Depend on the King, and it was written December 1991, a long, long time ago. So, anyway, look at me. It doesn't look like I even combed my hair. It's okay. We're not here to impress. When I'm down and feeling low, to my Savior I go. He whispers sweet peace to my soul. He lifts my spirit up so high. His love is always very nigh. I can always depend on the King. I can always depend on the King. His blessed word teaches me how to live. Holy, holy is his name. His love is always the same. I can always depend on the King. We should love everyone like he says in his word. The Bible tells us we should love like Jesus did. Can he depend on our love? His spirit fills us from above. We can always depend on the King. We can always depend on the King. His blessed word teaches us how to live. Holy, holy is his name. His love is always the same. We can always depend on the King. Amen. We can always depend on the King. And that is such a true statement. Thank you, Mom, for writing all these beautiful, beautiful songs.
It doesn't say when it was written.
Yeah. Let's see. December 1991.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I think this is the second song Mom ever wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, song number 2 that she ever wrote, that God ever gave her. She liked to put it like that. Yeah. God gave her all the songs, and she wrote them. She just pinned them down, what she liked to call it.
Okay. Well, tonight, Dr. Les and Leslie yesterday sent me an email that had the title of it was My Spouse Started. If you'll notice, they're the ones that I do the Symbios assessments through.
Yeah.
And my spouse started a business and I'm scared. Now what?
Oh.
So your spouse started a business and you're feeling fearful about the future. What should you do? People start businesses for many reasons. Maybe your spouse is following a deep held dream, or maybe they started this business after a job loss. Either way, it can feel financially risky.
Yeah.
How do you address your fears while you also supporting your spouse's business? And so I think that we can address that.
Absolutely.
Now we were blessed. I'd already started my business before we had met.
Yeah.
I actually started my business years ago. Me and my dad consulted my mom though.
See, that was good.
We went and looked at this house and 2 mobile homes. They wanted, I think they wanted $14,900.
That was a good price.
Yep. And so we looked at it, and after we got through looking at it, me and Dad were talking it over, and Mom said, "Well, if you guys don't buy it, I'm going to buy
So she was a partner too, really. Silent partner.
So anyway, but that's the incidence is that's where the scary thing is if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they go in and if we paid 50,000 for it, the income was I think $525 a month off of it, and then we had to borrow money to buy it if we had to. We didn't have to. If we had to borrow money to buy it, then that uh, would have created a problem.
Right.
We would have to look at the cash flow and that sort of thing.
Right.
And many people don't realize how they think, well, you're making $25 a month. No, you're not, because
right.
One or two of those is going to sit empty all the time.
Exactly.
As we learned.
Yes.
Probably two of them sit empty all the time. And we only got the income off of one of them. Anyway, so you have to worry about those things.
Yeah.
And it's best if you don't go into debt to start a business. When I bought the grocery store, me and Dad went to Community Trust Bank and borrowed $15,000.
Okay.
I thought I would need it, to fall back on and that sort of thing, I did blacktop around the property and stuff like that.
You had to make it look nice,
right? But there's, but I probably shouldn't have borrowed that money. Looking back on it, but
it's been a long time ago.
That's been
it's been a long time.
And I probably paid a little bit too much for it, but I don't know. It wound up. I didn't make any money. Wound up losing about $30,000 in the deal, or probably more.
Did it teach you anything?
Not to buy retail.
There you go. Okie dokie then.
Stay away from grocery stores.
Yeah, Walmart and stuff took that over. So.
Well, that's the problem when you have to compete with Walmart.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I felt sorry for those little poor people. In the community I bought it in. I couldn't charge $2 for a pop. Or something like that.
And then you made colossal sandwiches, and you probably sold them too cheap. So.
And
trying to help them
at the time. It was probably, we. Most people don't realize the markup isn't that much. I bet.
No.
It's nickels and dimes. I was kidding.
Yeah.
Your Uncle Larry. I was like, I never could figure out the nickel and dime business.
Yeah.
You pay 55 cents for a pop and sell it for 75.
And a loaf of bread you make like a quarter off of, and hardly nothing.
And so there's not a lot of money to be made there, unless you're talking to people and doubling your prices.
Right.
We might. I don't know what they're paying for a 20 ounce today. That was a 20. That was a 20 ounce. You bought it for 55 and sold it for 70.
That's cheap.
79 cents.
They're $2 now.
I know they're $2 now.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what they're having to pay for them
now. I don't know.
But that's the thing that I would caution anybody that's wanting to go in business is don't borrow the money to go in business. Use whatever you have. There's plenty of businesses you can start that don't cost that kind of money to get started in.
Now, I opened up 2 different beauty salons. They're ridiculous to open up.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then you have to stock, like, I would go and buy $1,000 worth of stock shampoos, and and people go, well, I can't believe that if it costs $10, you sell it for $20. I have to go back and then buy another bottle again of shampoo to replace the one that you bought. So really, you would have to actually triple. If a bottle of shampoo costs 10, you'd have to sell it for 30 to really make a good profit on it. But lots of times I would sell my stock at my cost plus, like, I would add a little bit, to for the gas to go get the stuff and all that. But you don't make anything off of that stuff.
Well, there is a law of three that you take your uh, hourly wages. I forget I forget how that is. You multiply your hourly wages by three, and that's what that you need to sell your product for.
Yeah. Our furniture, same way. People thought you made millions and millions of dollars, but you didn't.
Hey, Terry.
Hi, Terry. So good to see you, hear from you.
And there are some things that we've attempted that we didn't make any money off of. I tried selling things, and you tried to sell makeup at a couple of different
twice.
Two different companies.
Yeah. I loved the makeup too, and I work for Merrill Norman, and no, they're not paying me to say that. I work for them, but and so I was good at what I did because it went right along with being a hairdresser. But I don't know. I just didn't have the knack for the online selling. I just didn't have the knack for it.
Did you make good money working for yourself as a hairdresser?
No.
Oh.
No, because I did better when I rented off of someone. I was paying $300 a month, and you can't rent a shop if you own a shop. Like it would be outrageous, and you'd have all these people paying you. I think back then it was $200 a month they paid me, and it would pay for the electric and stuff. It seemed like I still sat and spun my wheels. I didn't know how to do good in that business. I like sometimes the very last few years that I was doing hair full time, like 10 hour shifts, I would make $600 to $900 a week. That was pretty good. And then I would take you have to take your product out of that. You would have to take your rent out of that. And
that's one of the things I've noticed that hair people do not take out is they don't realize the perm and the color costs a lot of money.
It does. Like I got a bag full just the other day. It was $150 just to do 3 people's hair that I was getting ready to do.
Right.
And but then that's the reason I've got an aunt that goes somewhere in Richmond, and her hair is short as yours. She pays $150 to have it highlighted. I just feel like that's robbery to people. So I couldn't do it. I was like you with the poor people at the grocery store. I want to charge them $65. But that's not the people who charge a lot make the money.
Maybe that's what the law of three is. Whatever it costs you to
times it by three.
Make it times three, and that covers your
Product.
overhead, your salary, and the product.
But going back to what you said, for a man to start into a new business, for a woman is because we know ours is just added stuff, But if you are going to be doing the business and be taking care of your family, it's a little more scary for a woman to know that her husband is going out on a venture that they don't know if they'll make it or not.
Right. So, and there's been some others that I've had trouble with. The auction house. I put a lot of things on credit card. I bought a lot of things on off of liquidators.com on credit card and never did pay those. Pay those back. That was another time I went in the hole. Location.
That's right.
And it depends upon really if you're talking about doing a business from home.
Home business
or not.
A home business is different
because the reason I liked working for myself in the rental property was in that way I was there for the kids.
That's right.
Or at least
that's the most important.
The plan anyway.
Yeah.
And so you're there with your family, could spend more time
Yeah.
with them and that sort of thing.
And ministry like we do, you know.
Yeah.
Our rental business, it gives us opportunity to travel if we want to go see Cece or, you know, I mean, it gives us opportunities to travel and still run a business,
Right.
you know. So I kind of like your business, you know, um, because it gives you freedom to be with your kids, like be with Braden and take him somewhere. And he wants to start working with you, and I think he'll do good at it, you know, and cleaning houses and taking care of them. I think he'll be a good worker. Braden will be. But so, but if your spouse is, I always want to support someone with what they want to do. My mom and dad taught me that I'll support you in your venture, and if it doesn't turn out good, then it's okay. I still wanted to support you. We need support from each other.
Well, as long as you didn't go into debt,
Right.
that's the problem.
Right.
If you're thinking about going into debt to start this business, you're gonna have to put the money in credit cards or borrow
Right.
money for a place to buy a building or something of that nature.
My little
And,
makeup thing, it didn't cost very much.
And
so.
I know from talking to people, a lot of people want to open up a restaurant.
They love that.
But most restaurants, they don't make money the first 5 years that
Right.
they're in business, and then it's very unlikely that they'll succeed at that point. I forget what the statistics are of a business is succeeding.
Yeah, but now the woman yesterday, her little business up in Boonville, a lady named Kim.
Yeah.
And she had a little restaurant in Boonville, which is way, way up in Appalachia. And I lived really close.
It sounded like she was the only choice, though.
Yeah, she is. She's the only restaurant, so she does really good. Hi, Kim. If you ever see this, we're gonna come and eat with you for sure. But now her restaurant was doing good, but she's been in business a long time.
Right. Right.
So, what's your all's thought about maybe even Terry? I mean, Dave was a mechanic, ran his own business.
Yeah, he had his own
station garage. And I remember he did really well with his garage. But from what I could tell, I don't know. Terry would have to say, but I went out on several ventures myself, and saw my dad do good and do bad with different ventures that he went on. My brother, same thing, I've seen him do really well.
Your dad did better than your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know of any ventures that your dad went on his own that did bad.
Yeah, coal mines. He struggled at the end with coal mines, but the him and my aunt and uncle Larry and Ann, I went in with my mom and dad on a little grocery store up in Jackson County, up in Greyhawk, and that little business did really well.
But the tipple did.
The tipple did good.
Really
yeah,
well.
It did okay. The thing with Dad, the ending of his coal mining was when he was strip mining at the very end. When I was a kid, he would have deep mines that the people would come up out of there on a little railroad, and and with their little hats with the lantern on them. But he was with his brothers then, and but then when he started strip mining, him and Mom and me and Dwayne, we would have to plant trees and put back.
Reclaim the land.
We would have to reclaim the land. Well, they put this was 1978. They put a big thing out that you had to put back land. Like if you took a mountain down, you had to put it back. And the piece of equipment, in fact, we went and looked at it. I stood on top of it, and it was huge, but it was like $1 million to buy that piece of equipment. Dad said, well, that's put me out. I'm not. And the bigger coal miners, like up in Clay County, the big mines, like made millions, they could afford to do that. But, Dad always really, he was a good provider for us, worked hard, come home jet black with coal, and stuff. But uh, after that, he said, I'm going to have to sell, you know. And then his brother was in furniture, had been for years. So Dad sold what he had, bought a bluegrass restaurant down there, and turned it into a little furniture store, a little bitty one at first, and did very well there for a long time.
Terry said Dave did very well.
I thought he did. I thought he did very well in his business, you know. And then, of course, he got called to preach after that. So now that's what he does is preach. But there's good and bad. I know some couples, they don't support each other in ventures. And I think if you really want to do something, I want to support you in it, Uh, and that's how we need to be. Unless it's something crazy. You say, I'm going to go up and sell snow to an Eskimo. I'm going to go, no, they already have plenty of snow. I'm just being silly. But, that's a hard thing. What'd your people say that sent you the thing about it? What'd they say about it? What was their opinion about it? Or did they have an opinion?
I don't think they. Well, they
Was just a question?
They had a blog.
Oh, okay. That's kind of scary these days, isn't it, y'all, to venture out with the way things are now. It's a little bit risky, more than it used to be back in what kids would call the old days, the olden days. Seems like you had a little bit better chance of.
Well, it says, first of all, encourage your spouse to seek wise counsel. There are, whenever I was looking at this, there were some organizations that helped with, they taught classes on, starting a business and different things like that you need to do. That's kind of how I got into the, Legal Shield.
Oh yeah.
Too, was because you need an attorney.
Right.
Advice.
Well, that's
then you build
important.
a supportive network for yourself. That would be Celebrate Recovery.
Yay, Celebrate Recovery.
Avoid defaulting to pessimism.
Oh, somebody's pessimistic. Yeah.
So that was the three things they covered. Okay. They go into detail on them, but
yeah.
When you start a business, you're taking a risk. The difference between success and failure lies with taking wise and calculating risks. This is easier to achieve when you have wise counsel.
Right.
If you're feeling risk adverse but want to support your spouse, encourage them to find mentors in the business world who can help them build a strategic business plan. I guess Denny was like that early on. He was a guy I went to church with, but he was into real estate. And he showed me one of his houses, and he told me I needed to, that I should start a corporation to protect myself and that sort of thing. And he sort of told me, a few things here and there.
That was helpful.
The more people you talk to, the more that they won't all tell you all their secrets, but the more people you talk to, the more secrets you're going to find out.
Exactly.
Phil Sowers in Richmond told me a lot of things.
Well, too, flipping houses was what you first started doing, and that's when it was really good. Flipping houses.
I got into the flipping houses later.
Oh, okay. You did really good with that. For a while.
for a few years until
Yeah.
the market crashed.
Right. That
Yeah.
kind of ends that.
And I was bleeding $2,000 a month, so I had to figure out another way to
Ugh.
handle it. So it was learning to adapt, I guess, is the main thing. Most businesses have to learn to be ever changing.
Right.
A lot of businesses that keep the same don't adapt, they go out of business.
Right. That's true.
And,
That's true. Saying, well, we can't do it. We're just going to end it. Yeah. Well, that was a really good something because, do you think people more nowadays, like in 2024, is more afraid to do a business than back in 1980?
I don't know. I would think that there are a lot of people who are working from home and they've learned to
True.
manage their time and have learned how they might be able to utilize that to be like a consultant or
There's a lot of people work from home for companies.
or something like that.
Yeah. After COVID, that happened a lot. And they found out that they actually can get more work out of some people if people sitting at home in their pajamas, and then answering phone calls. I have literally talked to several people, and I'll go, well, are you at the business wherever it is? And they'll go, no, I work remote. I'm like, oh, so you're sitting in your pajamas at the house, all relaxed with a Pepsi by your side. And for a woman, that's awesome that she can be there with her kids or whatever.
Well,
I think
then they
that's
don't
great.
have to worry about the overhead that they were talking about. Location.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of become a thing of the wayside with what I was thinking about how that in Montgomery Ward
Yeah,
kind of went by the wayside.
they did.
They didn't really. And Sears didn't.
And Sears. I thought of Sears.
Sears is still around, but
not like there was. Remember the
but
big
not
Sears
like-
in Lexington?
but not like Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
Everybody has kind of switched over to online.
Yeah.
Everybody has a order online.
Order online.
That sort of thing. So, and there's not that much need for. Everybody's went to on demand, so you don't have to have big warehouses.
Right.
You order and ship it
On demand.
from the source to
Right.
the customer, and you don't touch it.
Right. It takes longer. I figured that out.
Oh, really?
It takes longer to get it.
Yeah.
Than it does because it's on demand. Because it's from China.
China.
From China. So it takes a little longer to get it.
It's been 6 months in the harbor of Los Angeles.
I ordered a makeup, no joke. Said it's for older skin, over 50. And I don't need it because I'm not over 50. I have to go to the altar Sunday for line. No, and it came from somewhere, and I got a thing from UPS that said, we're holding your package because we want to make sure it doesn't have anything wrong with it. And it was from China. And I'm like, I don't want it. Keep it. Keep it. I didn't even know the makeup came from China. So be careful. Nowadays, Temu. Sorry, Temu. I'm not throwing you under the bus. But my debit card got compromised from Temu because it's from China.
It's the same way with Alabama. That's what the employees get the information in China and then steal your
information.
Steal your information
Yep.
from their employers. They don't
Yeah.
keep it as safe as over here they probably do.
So be careful. And another thing, we're talking about businesses and when your spouse don't support you. I've got a friend of mine that she sells a whole lot of things on Facebook Marketplace. She'll sell things on eBay, and when she
eBay
really
has become really hard anymore.
Yeah.
I used to sell a lot on eBay, but they will um, get it getting damaged in shipping, or they'll claim it got damaged in shipping, and you wind up getting
And you lose it.
scammed that
Yeah.
way. A lot of people told me.
And I would probably do marketplace. A lot of people sells on marketplace, but she does pretty good. You have to work it, you can't just, you know, but she does pretty good on Facebook Marketplace. So try that if you're trying to sell things. But and you all say a prayer for Tony because he had major eye surgery yesterday. You can't really tell it. He was going blind in his right eye, so y'all say prayers for him. And his surgery went real well, and I think he's doing good, aren't you?
Yeah.
For the first day, it's not even been 24 hours, so he's doing good. So I didn't even know if we would even do this tonight. So
All right. So with that, we say,
oh no, here, come here, Ladybug. Oh goodness, that's right, Annabelle.
remain in my heart.
Good night, sweet night. Pleasant dreams to you. Yes, I am. Good night. Love you all.